Hi artists, it's Miss Coon, and today we're going to work on day 2 of our contour lines bears. We started these last week, and let's see if I have one. We were adding our contour lines to give the contours of our bear's face to show which parts were sticking out and which parts were kind of curved in. We used hatching to illustrate texture, and so we did the small hatching marks that were short and close together, so close that it would be hard to put a line between them. The first thing that you're going to do today is to decide what you're going to do on the rest of your body. Your goal was that we just did the face, and some of us did continue working and some of us need to work on our body. So you could continue this fur illustration of applied texture on your body by drawing some more contour lines with pencil and then filling it in with the little hatching marks to illustrate texture. Or if you're tired of illustrating texture and doing the hatching lines, you could just draw a pattern or do some sort of clothing on your animal. Remember, it didn't have to be a bear. So it's up to you. So you could do clothes or fur. You can choose. When this part is finished, we're going to work on the background. So I'm going to talk through the steps of the background next. Okay, so you'll need your bear artwork from last week, and you've either decided that you're drawing clothes or you're continuing with fur. I'm going to finish this one, but if you're working on this one, you can color inside of your bear's clothing or your animal's clothing with colored pencils, markers, crayons, anything that you've got that you could add color. I'm putting this one to the side for a moment, and I'm going to work on this one. So we did implied texture, which means that we don't actually feel anything, but our burr looks furry even though it's flat to the touch. I'm going to use texture plates. This is actual texture. I can feel these ridges and raised up parts on the texture plate. If you're here at Creekside in school, I will loan you a texture plate to use. If you're not and you're working at home, you can use any texture that you could find. So sometimes there's texture on bricks, the inside part of cardboard. You can kind of experiment and find some interesting textures around your house. So first you're going to use your texture plates that you have in school. We're going to put them under our artwork, and we're only adding this texture to the background. Normally I like using it with a peeled crayon, but for today I'm going to use just a regular crayon. I'm not going to peel it, but I'm going to hold my paper in place, and I'm going to press down really hard using my crayon so that my texture from my texture plate shows through in my background. I'm going to use 2 different texture plates and a couple of different colors, and I'll just use one and then swap it out, and I think I'll change my color so that I have lots of different colors. I'm going to speed my video up. So now I've used texture and implied texture on the same work of art. So I have used lots of different texture plates, or 2 different ones, and lots of different colors. And you can let those 2 colors and those textures overlap a little bit. That gives it a little bit of dimension. It's kind of interesting. And next we're going to add another layer. Okay, so we're going to use our watercolor sets again and our water cups. Remember, watercolor paint needs a lot of water. That's why it's called a watercolor. So I'm going to wet my brush, and I'm just going to pick 1 or maybe 2 colors to use. I think I'll use this light green. I'm going to put a few drops to wake the color up and a few drops in my teal. Okay, and remember, you don't have to just twirl, 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 twirl in your paint because you're going to get too much color. What I'd really like for you to do is just wet it, touch, and then add just a little bit of that color on top of your texture rubbing. So I'm just going to touch and go. Touch, go. Okay, I want to add just a little bit of color that's going to fill in some of the spaces that my crayons missed. I'm not going to use too many different colors because I don't want them to overlap and make a brown, but I guess if you want to use more than 2, that's fine. I'm gonna wake this pink color up. I'm gonna get a little bit of pink, and I'll paint a little on top. Remember, don't just rub forever, because it does kind of waste your time, and it's gonna make your color a little too thick. So that's too much. Okay, we do want our crayon rubbings to show through. And I don't mind these colors being next to each other. Okay, I'm gonna speed up my video. Can't wait to see what you create. Remember, you can share photos of your art on Instagram at Kuhn Art Room, or you can email them to Miss Kuhn at kuhn@auburnschools.org. Thanks. Bye.